Hey guys! So I've had the iPad Pro, the 2018 version, since about October 2019. It was super useful when I was finishing up my bachelor's degree, and since then it's remained my primary personal device. Like, to the point that I traded in my old MacBook Air for a desktop computer because my iPad had just replaced my laptop. Anyway, I wanted to make this video to show the ways in which I think the iPad Pro is just a perfect companion for travel days. My husband and I will be flying from the Washington, D.C. area to San Jose, California to visit his parents for a couple days next week. I'll be taking you along with me to show you how the iPad Pro makes that whole travel process so much easier and more enjoyable. Just a disclaimer though, you can of course do everything I'm going to show you on a different device, or just not do them on a device at all. I am lucky and privileged enough to have this awesome piece of technology though, so I figured why not show you what it can do? Let's go. First of all, I make sure my travel plans are in my digital calendar. I also like to set reminders for myself the day before so that I don't forget to check in for the flight. I use the ColorCodedChaos app, which allows me to put reminders directly on my calendar in blocks. I'm also checking to make sure that the confirmation code for my flight is stored in the calendar event, so I don't have to go digging through my email when I'm at the airport. And since ColorCodedChaos reminded me, I'm going to check us in for the flight. I've got my email app, Airmail, up on the left side of the iPad split screen, and a web browser on the right side, making check-in super easy. And let's print those tickets now so I don't have to do it later. Now that I'm checked in for my flight, I'm going to double check my packing list to make sure I didn't forget anything important. Stuff that I'm going to use overnight or in the morning, like my toothpaste and charging cords, will get added to my bag right before we leave, so I like to keep those things on a list instead of relying on my brain. Alright, I'm set on packing for now. Let's see, how am I going to spend all those Wi-Fi-less hours on the airplane? Oh, hi Netflix. I'm going to download a couple movies just in case. Something my husband and I can watch together, something I want to see but he's not really interested in, and something he wants to see that doesn't interest me, in case I'm napping and he's bored. Okay, that's done. Let me also make sure that I've got some books downloaded through the Kindle app. I'm right at the beginning of this one, but sometimes I like to have options. Now I'm in no danger of being unentertained during this flight. I'm just going to check this list one more time. A quick note of what food my husband and I are looking forward to during this trip. We've got California classics like In-N-Out, of course, and my favorite boba place. But let me add the Thai place he loves. Alright, that should do it for today. I've also got another note set up with things that we should get done before we get on the plane. We've done a few of these today, so I'm going to check those off. We arrive at the airport and check our bags, which is super easy since the confirmation number is stored in the calendar event and I can just pull it right up. While we're waiting for our flight to board, I have some productive things to work on. Here I'm downloading some B-roll clips off Google Drive so that I can edit them during the flight. Just as I finished downloading these clips, we got called to board. I use the Procreate app on the iPad to create my videos, and luckily it doesn't need Wi-Fi for the editing bit, so I can still be productive at 30,000 feet. Once we've taken off and are allowed to use our larger electronic devices again, I pull the iPad back out and get to work editing. I actually finished the entire edit for my calendar color coding video on this flight, which is pretty cool. My husband and I picked up some Thai food from our favorite place before heading to the airport, and I'm glad we did. I took a nice break just eating my food and watching one of the movies that I had downloaded from Netflix. It's time to be productive again, so I do some scripting for upcoming videos. Usually I'll start with just bullet points of things I want to talk about, and then later I'll flesh that out further. I tend to do this in stages because I'll get a pretty good draft and then later we'll be like, oh shoot, I totally forgot to mention this whole other thing. So I go back and do this in rounds. As of right now, I'm just fleshing out the bullet points for an upcoming video on how I use my iPad in my daily productive routines. When I lose some energy, I'll snack and watch something. Rolling in on hour 5 of this flight, and I'm making some notes on a book I recently read to add to a Notion page I share with a friend. We've got a little book club going, and I've needed to write this summary for a while now. Another thing I've needed to do is update the food log that my nutritionist looks at. She gave me a paper form, but I just use the iPad camera to scan that in, and I use that as a template every week. Updating it on the iPad is really simple, and the paper-like screen protector I've got makes writing on the iPad really pleasant. Later on, I do some quality snacking and some reading. I start to lose some energy, so I flip over to a game that I've been enjoying recently to give my brain a bit of a rest. My husband got tired of the game he was playing on his phone, so we snuggled up and watched one of the movies I downloaded for us. There's definitely something to be said for devices that actually make you want to use them or do work on them. Since I got this iPad in October 2019, I've used it literally every single day. I'm not going to pretend that I've gotten work done on it every single day, but I love the device so much that I've been incentivized to be productive just because I love doing work on the iPad. Okay, so that was my travel day. I ended the day with 18% battery left, which is pretty good considering how long I was using the iPad for pretty heavy-duty stuff. Hopefully that gives you guys more of an idea of how I like to use my iPad Pro on my travel days. To me, it's more portable than a laptop, and it allows me to go really easily from typing to writing or highlighting. I also like that I can edit with the Apple Pencil and then just swipe right over to Netflix or my book. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and drop me a comment. How do you use your devices when you're traveling? Are there any fun ideas I'm missing out on? All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.